Today we diving into the most layered, most disrespectful, and honestly the most genius section in diss track history.
Can't understand me right now. Just play this when you 18.
Oh my!
Kendrick's Meet the Grams bars about self-acceptance and legacy. This ain't just a diss, this is Kendrick stepping in as a father figure, a therapist, and a prophet all at once, giving Adonis the kind of game Drake never could. We breaking down every bar, every layer, every shot. So buckle up, smash that like, and let's get into why this is the most sophisticated character assassination hip-hop ever seen. Let's start with the first bar. Be proud of who you are, your strength, and your flaws.
Be proud of who you are. Your strength come from within.
On the surface, that's just good parenting, right? Kendrick teaching Adonis to embrace his real self, to accept both his strengths and his weaknesses. That's the foundation for growth, for real manhood. But dig deeper, Kendrick is exposing Drake's whole lack of self-reflection. Drake always out here boasting about his wins, his plaques, his numbers, but never once do you hear him address his real flaws. No honest self-reflection in his music, just a persona with no vulnerability. Kendrick saying, don't be like your pops, be real about your flaws, that's how you grow. But it gets even deeper. Kendrick's calling out Drake for cultural vulturing. Drake out here adopting traits from cultures he never lived. Gangster persona he never experienced, Jamaican accent, Atlanta trap, UK drill, all borrowed, all for the image. He vultures without authentic connection. Meanwhile, Kendrick's whole catalog is about self-reflection. You is about depression and self-hatred. The art of peer pressure is about mistakes. Section 80, GKMC, TPAB, Damn Men, all about flaws, all about growth. Drake, he avoids real introspection, always hiding behind the mask. But then Kendrick hits us with a therapy metaphor. You can't improve what you don't acknowledge. Drake never creates a base to start improving because he never admits his weaknesses. Real growth requires honest assessment. Kendrick's telling Adonis, do what your father can't. Be real with yourself. But the real kicker, Drake performs different versions of himself for every crowd. Never shows the real person behind the personas. Kendrick's telling Adonis, be one authentic person. Be proud of all parts, not just the curated image. That's a life lesson and a diss at the same time. Now the next bar, a lot of superstars that's real, but your daddy ain't one of them.
A lot of superstars that's real, but your daddy ain't one of them. And you nothing like him. You'll carry yourself as king.
I'm sorry, son. Your daddy is not one of the real ones. He is a bitch.
What the fuck, bruh?
Can't understand me right now. Just play this when you 18.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Play this when you 18, bruh.
Why does it feel like a horror flick? Like you know he's walking down with a knife and he's gonna stab somebody.
Oof, that's a direct shot. But it's also a reference to J. Cole. Remember on Heaven's EP, when Cole called Drake and Kendrick superstars, put himself third? Behind Drake and Dot, yeah, them niggas is superstars to me. Kendrick's rejecting that whole assessment. He's saying, yeah, there's real superstars out here, but your dad ain't one of them. And here's the distinction. Real superstar status is about authenticity, not just fame. Drake got the superstar image, but he don't got the superstar character. Kendrick clarifies later in the song, yes, he's a hitmaker, songwriter, superstar, right. And a fucking deadbeat that should never say more life. Fame don't equal real success as a human being. Drake is a superficial superstar, surface only. Real superstars got substance to match the image. Kendrick, Nas, Jay, Pac, they all showed flaws, growth, realness. Drake, just a mask hiding who he really is. And Kendrick's taking the authority to define what's real. He's saying, I decide what counts, not your dad's PR team. He's teaching Adonis to distinguish image from reality, a critical life skill. Adonis gonna grow up around a lot of superstars, but he needs to know who's real. His own father, example of fake. That's a lesson for life. Next bar, and you nothing like him, you'll carry yourself as king. Kendrick prophesying for Adonis. He's saying, you different from your father. You'll carry yourself with real king energy. King means earn respect through character, not just public perception. Drake's trapped as a fake superstar, but Kendrick's defining Adonis as a future king. And the double meaning of nothing like him.
Yo, Kendrick smoked Drake so bad. I don't know how you could ever be in the same room again in the future. This is crazy. Yo, Mic Drop TV, it's your boy Jet Ski G. We back with another banger. Make sure y'all drop a like, a hype, a comment. You know, I don't like to hold y'all too long, so make sure y'all subscribe. Let's get right back into it, y'all. This is crazy, man.
Surface, you're better than him. Deeper, you share no authentic qualities with him. Implies Drake didn't raise him, can't pass on what you don't have. Kendrick's influence greater than Drake's genetics. Carry yourself, that's about how you present, authentic versus performed. A king carries himself with natural authority, don't need to perform or prove. Drake carries himself like a different person depending on the audience. Kendrick stepping in as kingmaker, deciding Adonis will be king, taking the mentor role from Drake. That's a biblical move. Prophet anointing the future king. Drake is the failed king, Adonis is the rightful heir, but not to Drake's legacy. And Kendrick makes it clear, nothing like him means DNA don't equal destiny. You can be Drake's biological son, but not his legacy. Character over genetics, nurture over nature. Kendrick saying, play it again at 18 when you can process. That's patient teaching. That's respect for development. It's like Keisha's song. Kendrick wrote it for his little sister at 11, sat her down, played it for her, warning about street life. She didn't get it then, but it stuck. Kendrick knows kids don't always understand immediately, but this song gonna exist forever. 12 years from now, Adonis will be 18. Drake can't erase it. It's a public record of Kendrick's guidance versus Drake's absence. It's a coming of age gift. 18 is when you become a man, when you gotta decide who you wanna be. Kendrick's giving him a roadmap. When you become a man, this is your guide. And the implicit prediction? Kendrick assumes Drake won't teach these lessons, assumes Adonis will need this guidance at 18, assumes Drake's parenting will fail. Kendrick's message will be there when Drake isn't. It's like leaving therapy tapes for your future self. Complex trauma takes time to unpack. You'll understand when you're older. That's a professional, therapeutic approach. Kendrick respects developmental psychology. 6-year-olds can't process father critique, but 18-year-olds can make informed decisions. This shows more care than Drake, who never considers Adonis's perspective. And the contrast, Drake's music is for the moment, disposable. Kendrick's message is timeless, replayable at different life stages. Drake makes hits, Kendrick makes legacy documents. The song will matter more in 12 years than it does now. And the public archive? Everyone will hear this. Adonis's classmates, teachers, future partners. Can't escape it, must eventually confront it at 18. But Kendrick's not forcing Adonis to understand now. He's giving him the option to understand later. Respects his agency. Drake never gave him a choice about being hidden or revealed. Now, let's connect the themes across all these bars. The authenticity pattern. Be proud of your real self, flaws included. Don't be a fake superstar, be a real king. You're nothing like your fake father. Understand this when you're old enough to be a real adult. Kendrick versus Drake parenting. Kendrick teaches self-acceptance, defines real versus fake success, prophesies Adonis's character, leaves time capsule guidance. Drake teaches none of this, implied absence. The progression of advice. Bar 1, internal work, accept yourself. Bar 2, external discernment, recognize fake. Bar 3, future identity, who you'll become. Bar 4, timeline for understanding, when to apply it. The meta layer. Every piece of advice is proof Drake isn't giving it. Every lesson to Adonis is an indictment of Drake. Kendrick isn't just dissing Drake, he's replacing Drake as moral authority. That's the most devastating form of disrespect possible. The vulnerability contrast. Kendrick admits complexity, acknowledges the child can't understand yet, shows patience. Drake hides his son, hides vulnerability, performs perfection. The irony, Kendrick shows more parental understanding in one verse than Drake has in 6 years. The prophecy framework. Kendrick speaks as if he knows Adonis's future. You'll carry yourself as king. Certainty. Just play this when you 18. Assumes relevance. Takes position of wise elder. Prophet. Drake reduced the cautionary tale in his own son's life. So what's the ultimate insult? Not just attacking Drake directly, but offering to raise his son better through a song that will exist forever as proof of Drake's inadequacy as a father and a man.
He's telling Adonis, you're a black man. So that actually diffuses Drake's shots at his wife for being mixed, because that's now a rebuttal to that. How did Kendrick know?
You're a black man, even if it don't benefit your goals.
When Kendrick said, be proud of who you are, your strength, and your flaws, it wasn't just a diss. This is the authenticity conversation hip-hop been ducking for a decade. When Meet the Grams dropped, May 3rd, 2024, 11:30 p.m., the whole culture felt it. Black Twitter stopped. Not because it was a cold diss line, but because it was true.
And that's big facts, though. Drop it in the comments. Where were you actually at when Meet the Grams dropped? I can remember where I was at when each song dropped. Like, each song dropped. Like, I just remember where I was at. It was that devastating to hip-hop. Like, let's keep going.
Within minutes, the reactions started flooding in. People recognized this wasn't just beef. This was the message we needed. And it all centered on 4 bars about being proud of yourself. Let's break down how the culture, fans, artists, therapists, parents, the kids who grew up like Adonis, received this message. And yo, if you're feeling the energy, smash that like, subscribe, and stay locked in, because we about to go deep.
Hit that like button.
First
subscribe,
up,
y'all.
the therapy community. Within 24 hours, black therapists were all over this. The therapy community heard, be proud of your strength and your flaws, and recognized it as actual therapeutic language. Dialectical behavior therapy, radical acceptance, the concept that you can't change what you don't acknowledge, that growth starts with accepting all of yourself, not just the parts that look good. Kendrick was doing the work that therapists do, but reaching people therapists can't reach. Young black men who think therapy is weak, they'll listen to Kendrick. And what did they hear? Mental health advice disguised as a diss track. This was radical acceptance delivered through hip hop. This was therapy without the stigma. This was mental health work meeting people where they are.
Right.
But it was the biracial community, specifically light-skinned black kids, who felt this line deepest. 'Cause be proud of who you are hit different when you spent your whole life being told you not black enough or not white enough. Online communities for mixed race individuals had intense discussions about this moment. The culture caught the nuance. Kendrick defined Adonis's identity for him. You're a black man, not mixed, not biracial,
Right.
black. And then said, be proud of that. Strengths and flaws. Mixed kids grow up feeling like they gotta prove their blackness, code switch harder, perform more, be blacker to be accepted. And Kendrick said, no, just be black, authentically, flaws included. Social media platforms filled with light-skinned black individuals sharing their personal journeys with identity. The culture responded because Kendrick addressed the pain point nobody else would touch: mixed black identity in hip-hop. The constant negotiation, the constant performance, the constant doubt. And in one bar, Kendrick said, you don't need to prove anything. Be proud of who you are. But Drake fans, they were in a weird position. Because how do you argue against be proud of who you are? The mental gymnastics were wild. Some tried to dismiss it as basic advice. Others tried to claim it wasn't even a real diss. But even Drake stans couldn't fully dismiss it, because deep down they knew. Drake's entire career is about not accepting his flaws.
Right.
It's about projecting perfection, about code switching, about hiding weaknesses.
That's exactly what it is. Like, every one of his songs is about how it was the female's fault, how she did him wrong, how he's moving on to better things. Talk about how we know for a fact you were a piece of shit. Let's talk about how you didn't enjoy being a black person. You didn't acknowledge being a black person. You code switched when you grew up. That's why you was doing blackface in a white neighborhood with a Jewish mother and a black dad that you didn't acknowledge. Talk about that, cornball. Keep going.
The culture watched Drake fans slowly realize you can love Drake's music and still acknowledge Kendrick's point is valid.
Right.
Some tried to deflect, arguing that Drake doesn't need to accept his flaws publicly. But the culture pushed back. Then why is he making music? Hip-hop is about vulnerability, about showing your full self. And Drake fans started admitting Drake could be more authentic. That's how you know a bar hit, when even the opposition can't fully defend against it. And then the artists started responding. Not directly, but in interviews, on their own songs, in subtle ways. Killer Mike, 2 weeks later. Real hip-hop is about showing your whole self, your wins and your losses. Right. That's what separates the real from the fake. Nobody missed who he was talking about. J. Cole, who called Drake a superstar on Heaven's EP, went silent, deleted some tweets, started liking posts about authenticity. The culture noticed. Younger artists started changing their approach, less flexing, more introspection. One up-and-coming rapper tweeted, Kendrick made me rethink my whole album. I was just bragging about money. Now I'm talking about my actual life. The industry standard shifted because Kendrick didn't just diss Drake. He established what real artistry looks like. Accepting your flaws, being proud of your authentic self, not code switching for success. And artists realized, if I want to be taken seriously, I need to do that too. The culture created a new metric. Are you being real or are you being Drake? When Kendrick said, lot of superstars, that's real, but your daddy ain't one of them, the culture immediately knew who he was referencing.
Crazy,
J. Cole,
bro.
Heaven's EP. The line, behind Drake and Dot, yeah, them niggas is superstars to me. Cole put Kendrick and Drake in the same category. Superstars, equals. And Kendrick said, nah. Is Kendrick saying he's not a superstar?
I ain't gonna hold you. J. Cole be dick eating, bro. I'm from the East Coast. That's what we call that. He be dick eating. Like, be your own man, be your own superstar. Stop dick eating off Drake all the time. Keep going.
Either? No, he's saying Drake's not real. What makes a real superstar? Real superstars show their full selves. Tupac, Nas, Jay-Z's 444, Kendrick's You. Drake, all image, no substance. The culture started making lists. Real superstars show vulnerability, admit mistakes, grow publicly, accept their flaws. Fake superstars project perfection, hide weaknesses, static persona, reject authentic self. Drake fit every criteria of fake. And the culture realized Kendrick wasn't gatekeeping, he was defining terms. You can be famous, superstar status, without being real, superstar character. Drake has one, not the other. But this line broke people. And you nothing like him, you'll carry yourself as king. The culture heard a prophecy. How does a king carry himself? With dignity, with authenticity, with pride in all of who he is. The culture transformed Kendrick's diss into a movement because the line isn't about Adonis. It's about every kid who feels like they're nothing like the flawed men who raised them. The culture needed this message, that you're not doomed to repeat your father's mistakes, that you can be different. And Kendrick delivered it while dissing Drake. When Kendrick said, "Can't understand me right now, just play this when you 18, the culture understood the assignment. This isn't just for Adonis, it's for every kid who needs to hear it."
And this is actually insane. And this is going to be the part of the breakdown where I actually give y'all my opinion. Shout out to Mic Drop TV. And y'all know me, it's your boy Jet Ski G. We back with another banger. Now, I know I gave J. Cole some smoke just now, but he always trying to just be like friends and buddy with Drake. Bro, go for the crown yourself. The best J. Cole I ever liked was when him and Benny the Butcher, when he smoked Benny the Butcher on that track. If you haven't heard the track with J. Cole and Benny the Butcher, that's that energy. I like J. Cole. Be aggressive. Be a king, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I got crown tatted on my neck. Y'all see that? It's a crown. Be a king. Be your own man. See, I got my own opinions, J. Cole, and you be dickying. But back to Drake. All right. Him sitting here talking to Adonis like this, and Adonis is going to listen to this when he's 18, when all of the, everything is clicking through his head and he figures out life. He going to listen to this, man, and he going to sit back and look at his dad. He going to be able to go through the tabloids and see how his dad actually looked at his mom, how he met his mom. He going to listen to these tracks, and it's all going to add up. And he gonna look at the tracks, look at his dad, look at the tracks, look at his dad, look at his tracks, look at the dad. He gonna be like, damn, man, how come you gave me an Adidas press run? I don't know how Drake and Kendrick could ever be in the same room again. Like, he smoked Drake so bad, yo. So y'all drop it in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this. Let me know what y'all think about these bars in specific. And let me know where were y'all at when this track actually dropped. Cause I remember exactly where I was at. I was actually leaving a little meeting over like a little business venture we was thinking about at the time. We actually did move forward with it, but I remember just stopping and looking at my phone and getting in the car after the meeting and just sitting there. And I was supposed to be home, but I was just sitting there listening on repeat for like a half hour before I pulled off. It was crazy. All right, so y'all drop it in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about that. It's your boy Jet Ski G. If ain't nobody told you they love y'all, you know I love y'all. Also, I'm gonna drop another banger. It's gonna be right here. This banger right here is actually gonna be how Kendrick actually broke down the bars and compared Drake to Brazilian soccer players and how it was a triple entendre and some of the nastiest stuff in hip hop ever. I'm gonna catch y'all in this video right here. I'm out, y'all. Man, oh man.